DJ Explores, I'm Charlotte, behind the camera is Corey, and it's our first time in Serbia. In this vlog, we are going to be exploring the capital city, Belgrade.
Well, we got here yesterday and it was pretty chaotic, but anyway, today we're out exploring the city, and just down the street where we're staying, across the road from the park, I found a really cool little coffee shop. They have a piano on the wall, they have full like vegetarian and vegan options there, so it's pretty good. But we're gonna take a walk now into the city and see what else we can find in this post-Soviet city. So to be honest, we don't really know a heck of a lot about Serbia. All we really do know is that it is post-Soviet country. They are mostly pro-Russia, so a lot of Putin supporters here, I think. That's probably to do with the media and stuff. And the language here, yes and no, is the same as Russian, da and ne. And to say thank you, we have learned is hvala.
So we have to admit, we do not know much about Serbia or Belgrade, to be honest. I know that used to be the capital of Yugoslavia, and that this city has been ravaged and kind of completely wiped out by lots of wars. It's been controlled by a lot of different people, like the Ottomans. It used to be like predominantly a Muslim society here. And because there's been so many conflicts here, it's a big part of why Belgrade isn't as beautiful as other European cities. And I think it's fair to say it's not an overly beautiful city. It's very much like a concrete jungle. Some of the buildings look very old and worn, yeah, very like the old Soviet buildings. But actually an area right now that actually does look very pretty. That's the old Parliament building over there. There's a beautiful park, and we have a glorious day. It's actually still the morning. It's very hot here in Belgrade today. But yeah, it's going to be nice to explore somewhere that we don't really know anything about. We're just going to go completely open, just see what presents itself.
We've found ourselves a little book market. It seems like a little pop-up thing happening here, just down the road from the Parliament building. And I'm guessing all of these books are going to be not English. I think the language is actually, it's like the same alphabet as they use in Russian. So it's like the Greek alphabet, I think. Now, I don't know too much about Soviet history and the communist history of this region of the world, but the buildings that we see here, they all kind of have that same sort of like very, yeah, it's like functional building. It's just like it has to serve a purpose as a function, and that is it. There is no thought about like aesthetics, how it looks, how the people are going to feel. It's just like, we need a building. This is what a building is. Boom. And it's just a square building. And yeah, Serbia or Belgrade is just full of buildings like that.
We found a cute little cafe called Coco's. We are plant-based, so whenever we come to a new place, we just search in Google Maps vegan, and just a few things pop up and we save them. I think this has some options, so we're going to go have a look. So it's an all vegan, all vegetarian, and they have an English menu, which is very handy for us. They got like raw cakes, smoothies, Wi-Fi, alcoholic drinks, and they've got all-day breakfast.
This is a smoothie with chocolate and espresso.
I have gone for a summer juice, watermelon, lemon and mint, and this costs around €3.50, just under. Not too bad. I think our dishes that we ordered are going to be around €7 each. Probably a bit more than the average dish here, but we're in like a vegan cafe, which are always more expensive, but the price we pay for being fussy vegans. It looks really inviting, so delicious. Look at all those colours. Yum, 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 yum. And that cauliflower steak. Yeah, this looks absolutely gorgeous. Very excited.
Tucking into this cauliflower steak, it is so delicious. Cauliflower is one of my favourite foods. It's so simple, it's so hard to get it wrong. But this is served on an avocado sauce and a pea puree, and it is very, very delicious.
Okay, so we have had our lovely lunch. Honestly, some of the best food we've had in a very long time. So yeah, absolutely delicious. Highly recommend. Cost around just over €20 for everything. So yeah, not bad. Probably on the cheaper end of but still like within the European typical budget, I'd say.
So we're just wandering the back alleys now, and it's very, very interesting. We've come to this place which is like full of a lot of artwork, and it looks like a lot of small independent shops. Some really interesting staircases and restaurants and things. It's a wonderful place. Belgrade, very interesting.
We are now at Republic Square. Now this is the main square of the entire city, and this is what is considered the heart of the city. If a local says meet at the horse, they mean this was behind me. So to travel on the public system around Belgrade, it's best to get one of these. This is like a little top-up card. You just have to pay a small fee for the card, and then you just top it up when you need to, and you just tap it on the trams or the buses. Though it's a little bit tricky, so we got one for 2 people, so we have to put in like 2 people, like a group, and then what zone you're in. But it does have like an English translator on the trams. It was very hard to figure this out when we first got here because we had no internet. It took us a while, but we got there in the end. And if you want to top them up or you want to buy one of these, just go to one of the kiosks. They're everywhere all around the city. So the trams here seem to be like really old and there's only a few seats, but they never seem super busy. Maybe they get busier like at rush hour and people just stand. But yeah, they're very old.
Where are we going, Chaz?
The Bohemian Quarter. This is very cute. We have come to the Bohemian Quarter of Belgrade, and it is called the Bohemian Quarter simply because over the past 2 centuries a lot of intellects, artists, writers used to live here. Nowadays it's more of like a tourist area, but there's a lot of like restaurants, cafes, souvenirs, and all these cobble streets. It's very pretty.
Yes, this is a very rustic, sort of like ancient feeling part of Belgrade. It's actually compared to Montmartre in Paris, and I guess that's because it's full of people who are like artists, visionaries, people who are seeking like maybe a little bit cheaper accommodation so they can sort of spend more time thinking and philosophizing about the ways of the world and trying to create new values for society.
Went to a souvenir shop and the lady in there gave us a camping guide to Serbia. We won't be camping in Serbia, but that was very kind of her. But it's got a big map actually. Very friendly local lady.
Yes, I was kind of pressing her to learn a little bit more about the history of Serbia. Because I find it so fascinating. This is a place that's been through so many conflicts, as Charlotte was saying earlier. There's been a lot of different rulers, different oppressors, and she said that Serbian people are actually very used to this kind of lifestyle where they're constantly adapting and changing to new rules, new ideas. She said it is in their veins. Props to the Serbian people for being so adaptive. I'm sure they breathe through COVID. We are taking a little walk along the main high street now in Belgrade. This is where like all the shops are if you wanted to do like some fancy shopping or anything like that. And like most high streets, it's full of people who are like doing some sort of artwork, and there's other people there like trying to promote like charities and this kind of stuff. So yeah, it's quite nice. The buildings here are actually a little different to what we've seen already. So these ones have a little bit more architectural details and like fancy aesthetics, which is nice. And yeah, we just got told by a Serbian man who stopped to have a quick chat to us that if we wanted to see like the real Serbia, that we should go out of the main cities and go to some of the smaller cities, because he said that Belgrade is actually more like most big cities around the world. And yeah, I guess he's got a point. On this street it sort of feels like any capital city, really.
Maybe we'll pop into some shops and most likely try and find some aircon. It is scorching today. We had a little walk into the shopping mall and we came to the top level and we found this nice open bar on the top. So we thought we'll come and have a nice cold drink, have a little break from the heat, because after this we're going to walk that way to a medieval fortress.
So at the end of the shopping street is this huge park, and here is the symbol of Belgrade. It is the fortress, and we are going to go and explore it. Apparently it's very large, but it's very hot, so we're thankful for this shade of the trees. It's supposed to be a good viewpoint here of the meeting of the 2 rivers. One is the Danube, the other one, I'm not sure what it is called, but we are going to go and see it all now.
We are having a beautiful walk in the park and the fortress here in Belgrade. It's one of the top things to do. It's always like #1 things to do in Belgrade is go and check out the fortress and the amazing views that it has of the city. And yes, we agree, the views down onto the river are absolutely beautiful. You can have like this whole panoramic view. Really nice. It says that this is where you can see where the 2 main rivers meet. Big old doors there. Very cool. We are in now the main fortress area. Pretty cool. There's like a bridge over to here, and we're just making our way up to the viewpoint that's supposed to be the best viewpoint. I can see why this was a place to build a fortress, because you can see everywhere.
It's actually a lot of green space just on the other side of the rivers. So it seems like Belgrade is actually quite a condensed city. And then outside of that is just like forest area. I can see on the hills over there, there's like what looks like water towers. And then just across the river, not more than a kilometre away, there's this huge green space. Maybe it's just like unable to be built upon. It might be quite swampy or something like that. But yeah, a lot of green in this city.
Another destination, another Polaroid. This time it's, well, frankly, they're always just us. It's more like a selfies around the world, I think, at the side. But you can see the little statue and a bit of the river, so Belgrade.
So up at the fortress, they have this full-on military museum. While there is a military museum that is inside, they actually have a lot of stuff which is outside, and it is from the history of the Soviet times, world wars, and there's a lot of stuff here from Germany as well, parts of their submarines, torpedoes, mines. Yeah, it's really, if you're into war stuff, definitely check out this part. There was a part just up there which says walking in this area you risk your life. I'm not sure why it says that, but we are not going to risk our life.
There's so much now to this fortress. I'm not sure if we entered a different, like less, I guess we entered from the main park. So anyway, we're exiting the fortress from it seems like the main entrance, which we missed. And there's so much here. There was like a dinosaur kids park, people out the front taking photos in like medieval costumes, tennis court. Yeah, they're really, and there's a zoo, oh my gosh. They're really trying to squeeze in everything they can at this fortress. We have come to a little yoga fast food bar. It's actually out the back and the front bit is a bar, so there's separate areas. You just go, you order the food around the corner, it comes to you, and then the waiters will come and take your drink orders. So we came here yesterday after we arrived. We were a bit delusional because we were so tired and hot. But it's very near to our hostel actually, which is good, so we thought we'd come back for dinner. A few of the vegan places we found around have actually all closed. I guess they're all daytime places. This is open until 7 o'clock though. Rice is nice. Nothing fancy. They call themselves vegan fast food.
That's what we got.
That's what we got. Waiting on my cauliflower wings though. This smells spicy. I've got some buffalo cauliflower wings. Woohoo!
Good.
So this place is quite pretty in the day, but as you can see, it's even prettier at night time.
So for our stay here in Belgrade, we have stayed at the Caravan Inn Hostel, and it's such a good location because right across the road is this huge park. It's very beautiful. It's one of the sights to see here in Belgrade actually. And in this area we have lots of options for restaurants and bars, good vegan options, and lots of cafes too.
Well guys, what did you think of Serbia? We were pretty surprised. We turned out to really like this city. It was a rocky start at first, but we came to see that there are some beautiful spots here. Is it what you thought it would look like, or is it completely different? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.